Again, the end goal of our market analysis is to project future rents and growths in rent. And we're going to do that using our past data, which we've accumulated in this worksheet. We're going to use occupancy rates for the last 18 years and rental growth rates for the last 18 years to perform a linear regression to estimate what might happen to our rental growth rates in future years based on our projected occupancy. First thing we're going to do is we're going to simply plot the data, the relationship between occupancy and growth rates in rent. We do that. Let's just highlight the data we're interested in, go up top, insert. We're going to insert a chart, simply data points, scatter graph, and once we've done that, we can then add a trend line. To add a trend line, we come up and we right-click on one of the data points, come down to add a trend line, and we're going to have some choices. And in terms of our trend line, what we're going to want to make sure we do is we've got a linear trend line, and we want to display an equation on the chart. And notice how it popped up here, and that's simply our linear regression model, which we are also going to estimate using Excel's data analysis function here in just a second. And of course we can reformat that to make it a little bit bigger, just so we can see it better. And recall the 1.8831 is our y-intercept, and the slope of our regression line is 2.271. So what we're basically saying is that for every percentage increase we have in occupancy, we can expect a rental growth of 2.2 times that much. So if we had a 1% increase in occupancy, we could expect that to lead to a 2.2% increase in rent growth. If we had a 10% increase in occupancy, that would translate roughly into a 22% increase in rent or rent growth. Let's go ahead now and use Excel's linear regression function to basically come up with our same estimated equation. I'm going to begin simply by moving this graph because I've got an output field set up for our regression data. To do this, we go up to Data. We come over to far right-hand corner, Data Analysis, and we'll have the regression or data analysis box pop up. We want to select Regression, hit OK. Our input range, and again, we're trying to predict rental growth rates, so it is our dependent variable. Our rental growth rates depend on year-end occupancy rates, and we have highlighted the labels because we want that as part of our output. And we're going to ask Excel to put the output right here where it says paste the regression output, cell AD5. Overwrite, sure we will, and we can see our coefficients, our intercept. It's the same intercept we had with our plot, minus 1.83883, and a slope of 2.71. So now we're going to use those coefficients to predict our rental growth rate over the next coming 10 years. So in building our worksheet, we've estimated year-end occupancy rates right here in column P, and we're going to link that to our regression output. And our predicted growth rate, rental growth rate, will equal our intercept plus our coefficient, which is the 2.271 times our end-of-year occupancy rate. So equals our fixed coefficient plus our slope coefficient of 2.271 times my predicted year-end occupancy rate. So I'm going to estimate a 13.67% growth rate in year one. And again, if I want to copy that down, I need to be sure to anchor both my intercept and my slope coefficient. Once I've anchored those cells, I can copy them down. There are my predicted growth rates for rent, and I can then estimate my rent as simply the prior year's rent times the quantity, 1 plus the expected growth rate. And of course, I can just copy that on down. So be sure to run the Excel's data analysis to run your regression model and paste your output, and then do your links and include a chart with a trend line. And again, that trend line gives us the same coefficients as we would have with our data analysis.